in today's episode, I want to share two very simple vocal exercises that can make your singing feel easier. Make sure to stay till the end. I've got a little bonus tip that can help tie all of this together. Let's jump straight in. So this very first exercise is something I call an almost nasal sound. Now, the reason why this is important is when it comes to singing, one thing that makes a voice feel easier, makes it much more healthier, and you probably heard me talk about this on this podcast, is finding this ping or finding this bite in the sound. Now, the challenge, however, is it can feel a bit abstract. It can feel a bit like, what the heck is Ivan even talking about? So this almost nasal idea is meant to help you explore and find this buzz or bite in your voice. So basically the idea is this. We want to find a sound that, perceptually to you feels a bit nasal, which means there might be a little buzz or vibration somewhere up behind the nose, somewhere in that kind of region. But when we block off our nose, it should not be nasal. And what this allows us to do is allows us to find a nice kind of healthy bite that's got a higher kind of placement, so then your throat does not have to do the work. So test out this little exercise with me. First step is I want you to block off your nose, and we're going to make a sound on the R vowel. Ah, 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 ah. Now, what you want to do is see if you can find a clear, focused kind of bite somewhere around your nasal kind of region, maybe slightly back. You want to explore it, right? And the key here is this. If you can find a nice kind of bitey, kind of ringy quality without it going, ha, 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 then you found a nice bite in your sound. Once you can find that, then the key here becomes applying it to a little scale, a little exercise. And what we're looking for here is, can you maintain that feeling? You got this nice ringing kind of quality up and back, nice kind of ringing quality, but it doesn't go fully nasal. It shouldn't get muffled at all. Perceptually, it kind of feels nasal though, but it's not what's actually happening. So let's run through this together. So I feel really nice kind of buzzing up in that kind of up and back kind of nasal area, but it's not nasal. All of a sudden, it kind of goes up to the high C, and maybe there were little moments where it did kind of go a bit nasal. But what I was really trying to do is, can I keep that buzzy quality up high and just let it go up and back, but I'm not letting it get too muffled? That is the key. And so when you can do that, singing feels a lot easier, because now your power comes from this ping and this ring. I hope this first tip has been useful, and I actually want to use this little moment to introduce myself. For those of you who are new to this podcast, to this show, my name is Ivan, and on this show, our goal is to make learning how to sing as simple and as easy as possible. Because let's face it, learning how to sing can feel confusing, and you're probably on YouTube, and you're probably watching this video because it is confusing. And so if this is up your lane, consider subscribing, consider clicking that I think it's the bell notification, so you can get access to our episodes every single Thursday or Friday, depending on where you're joining us from. And also, if you want to fast track, if you want to make singing even easier, check out the links in the description. I've got ways to work with me privately. I work with clients all over the world via Zoom, and I also have a self-study course if that is something of interest. Check out the links in the description. Now, what is idea number 2? So we've tackled finding a nice, easy buzz, a nice, easy ping in your voice. And the reason why that's useful is it's a source of your power. Now, the second exercise I'm about to show you is going to make singing easier because we find a more relaxed articulation. And the reason why this is important is, even if you've got a great ping, you've got a nice kind of bite, sometimes there's a lot of perceived effort just because you're clenching your jaw, or maybe kind of doing some weird stuff with your tongue. And I know I've been there before. Like, I've had plenty of moments where, I've had my articulation get in the way of my singing. So I want to share a little idea, a little exercise that can tackle that. So let's run through this exercise, and we'll use a bit of a song example. This is a song called Heartache. Now, the idea is this. When we're singing through some of the words, try speaking through the lyrics first. And the goal of this is we want to establish a nice kind of benchmark, a nice reference for how easy your articulation can be. So the words here are, so this is heartache. And so if I go, so this is heartache, so this is heartache, So this is heartache. And as I'm kind of even speaking through it, I'm noticing what the articulators are doing. Are they kind of tight, like, so this is heartache? Am I clenching my jaw? Am I doing any of that? The goal here is you want to make it as easy as possible because a lot of us, when we speak, we don't actually have to engage that much tension with our articulators. So this is heartache. And then what I do is when I can find that I've established that reference, what we can do is we can apply the melody. And I'm trying to keep the articulation as easy as possible, almost as if I am talking. So this is heartache. So this is heartache. And when I went to even that high note, I applied the idea from exercise number 1, really getting that almost nasal sound. So I kind of felt this really strong ping up and back. Now it wasn't nasal because if I block off my nose, heartache, heartache, there's no nasality there, right? It's not getting muffled. And so I was applying these two ideas together. Now, for you, especially when you're first starting off, try to build these exercises separately. So you find the almost kind of nasal kind of ping, and then you also apply this idea of singing with relaxed articulation. And we speak through the lyrics once to notice how that feels, to really, really notice how relaxed it can be. So these are 2 vocal exercises you can play with to make your singing easier. I did want to leave a little bonus thing here, a little bonus tip that can help make this journey easier for you. And this is more like a mindset or realization that I have had, from working with all these different singers. If you want to get better at singing, if you want to improve your voice, there's really only 2 choices that you need to make. Number 1, you need to make the choice to actually believe it's possible for you, right? Actually believe that you can get better. And the second one is making the choice to actually get better. And when you decide to make these 2 choices, you're unstoppable, right? If you believe it's possible for you and you've decided, you've committed to getting better, there's just no way you're not going to get better. And so if you really want to get better and see results, I want you to examine yourself, right? Where am I with these 2 decisions? Am I kind of on the fence? Do I secretly not believe that I can get better? Or maybe like, I decided I'm going to get better. I decided I'm going to, work on my voice, but you're not really putting in the practice time. Examine and audit yourself. Where exactly are you? And so that's a wrap, team. If you found value from this episode, please, all I ask is share this with a friend or family. And also, if you want to make your singing easier, that's probably why you're on this episode today, then make sure to check out the links in the description. I've got details on how you can get in contact with me to work with me. Or maybe if you prefer something more systematic, something that's more kind of self-study, I've also got a course there called The Fundamentals of Singing. That's going to show you exactly how to build your voice. Thank you for joining me. My name is Ivan. I'm your voice teacher, and I'll see you for our next episode every single Thursday and Friday, depending on where you're joining us from. Take care.